All right, so I'm not going to get too much into the weeds about how to do it. I'm kind of like walk you through the steps of how the conversation went. I know a lot of people in this room aren't in a position to be transferring over large brokerages because you're already here. But you may encounter brokers, team leaders, who have to make that transition. And they're kind of like, dude, I've got this anvil over here. I got this heavy, heavy burden on my shoulders. How am I going to just transition 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 agents into EXP? How's that even done? So I'm going to walk you kind of through the conversation as if you were my agent or if you were a broker who I was talking to about coming over. I'll show you kind of the analytical side of it, which is a spreadsheet I created to show numbers so they can see for themselves like how this is more beneficial for you, because it's always believed that a show is better than a tell. You can tell people all day long, trust me, it works, it works, it works, but when they see the numbers, then they're like, oh my God, like, where has this been all my life? And I'm also going to walk you through the steps of rejection, why certain people say no. Because I didn't have 100% adoption. Not every one of my agents came over, but I call EXP's model almost like a filter. It's going to filter people out who are not really meant for your group or the business in general. If anyone here is going to tell you, yeah, EXP is going to be the answer to everyone, it's not the case. It's not going to bring everyone over. Not everyone's going to adopt, and not everyone is going to get over that evil three-letter word, ego, which is the reason why a lot of brokers, you're going to encounter a lot of brokers and team leaders, that's the reason they're going to be held back, is definitely that, is the ego. So I'm not sure, Micah, if you can pull up the email I sent you earlier. It's in your inbox. If you can pull up on the screen the spreadsheet. Yeah, it's okay. Not the one I sent you last, but the one I sent you first. The one I sent you last, I want you to open later. So if you can open up that last, the first one, I'm kind of going to show you guys what I mean by this. All right, so let me walk you guys through as if you were one of my agents that I was meeting with when I made the decision. And before I get started on the actual numbers, Micah mentioned the mindset going into this because this is not an easy decision to make. As a matter of fact, Jay Kinder and a lot of other people talk about EXP insomnia. And EXP insomnia, I'm not sure if you guys have ever experienced it, but for me, it came before making the decision and then after I made the decision. The reason why before is because this is a humongous decision for any entrepreneur to make. If I was an independent agent, I've told my agents the same thing. If I'm an independent agent and I see this model that looks this attractive, there's like a no downside risk. You can go there, and if you don't like it, then you can go right back. But for a broker who's coming over with X amount of agents, if you make a mistake, not all of those agents are coming back with you. So it's very, very stressful on anyone to make this decision. So when I was in conversations with Micah, there was many nights I couldn't sleep. It was like a 30-day period in which I was just stressing and stressing, and I didn't know what to do. And I kept doing the numbers, I kept watching the videos, and I said, you know, this is the future. If I continue doing what I feel comfortable with, pretty soon the future is going to be here, and I'm going to be a late adopter, and I'm going to lose my agents regardless. So I said, it's not going to be perfect. It won't be for everyone, but I need to make this decision. I need to make this change. Not everyone is like that. Just like, you know, some people are late adopters to everything. So that's what you got to ask yourself. When you talk to a broker, you got to figure out what their personality type is. Because are they people who are quick to adopt to everything? Or are they people who are always kind of like, let everyone else test the waters first, and I'll go in once it's safe? Those people you're going to have to work on for a long time, but you kind of have to figure it out before you go into the conversation. Because we go in there with our energy, and we're already sold. Meanwhile, these people are not early adopter mentality, and we have to figure that out before we even start talking. Because if we're expecting to walk out of a room with a sale and the person's a late adopter, you look at their cell phone and you still got a flip phone, you're in trouble. You know, you're going to have to take a different approach. You might have to take the fear approach where you show them everything that's here and you explain to them that, look, it's okay for you not to do this, but let me just show you what your competition is doing. And then once you show them what the competition is doing, that might be the spark that'll make them look at it a little bit differently. So, yes.
So this whole thing that he was doing, mind you, we had over 100 agents and we had to talk to them within 30 minutes time span. And they were literally lining up person by person for 3 days straight. We did this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because every personality is different. So I had to change my my tone, and I had to change my pitch every time I was meeting with a different personality. So this here is for a type A. Show me the numbers, show me the analytical part, and then, oh my God, this makes sense, let's do it, right? So I'm going to show you the analytical person first, and then I'm going to show you the emotional person next, okay? So the analytical person, if I've got a good producer who's doing 30 transactions a year, that's the magic number. Why is that the magic number? Do you guys know why 30 transactions is a magic number?
Icon.
That's for the icon?
Icon, because most real estate transactions in our area, northern eastern part of the United States, is about $300,000. So that would pretty much qualify you for icon. Pretty much safe to say. So we got 30 transactions, $300,000 average sale price, $9 million in volume, average 2.5 commission. We're being very average here. We're not being outside the norms. We're talking about $225,000 gross commission coming in, GCI, right? That is what the agent now has a mindset of, like, oh, okay, I can do that. That's 2.5 transactions a month. I can do that, or I have done that. So that's where you put people into the boat. Now, if I've got someone who does 20 transactions a year, and I say to them, can you do 30 a year? Can you do 2.5 a month? There's no one out there who's going to say, no, I'm just a 20 transaction a year person. I don't think I'll let you. No, everyone says, yeah, I could do that. So you put them in that boat. And then what you show them is, well, at my real estate company, Culture Estate, I give my top producers an 80-20 split. Why? Because at 90-10, you're losing money. At 80-20, you're breaking even. But you got the top producers because they have the listings, and the listings get you more exposure, and then you get the 50-50s. So it makes sense. So at an 80-20, the agent is keeping 80, I'm keeping 20, he's buying me a new Model 3 every year, right? That's what they see. Oh man, this guy's getting rich, right? So $45,000 is what I'm keeping. I don't have a franchise fee. I had $500 in miscellaneous fees for E&O and for, I think we had our conversion. Conversion is what we're using. KV Core's little brother. So we had $45,500 a year is what it would cost the agent to work with me. So John or Jane, whoever my agent is sitting down with you, $45,500 is what you pay me right now. You're making $179,500. That's pretty good, right? Yeah, because I started, it was 50-50. Top producers were making 60-40. So from the 225, you're keeping 179. That's a good deal. Now let me show you what I'm up against. And this is the same model that made me literally scared. Because when I saw this, I saw the end of my business anyway. EXP has an 80-20 split, same $45,000 potentially coming out of their top line, but they have a $16,000 cap, which means they get to keep an extra $29,000. There's no franchise fee because we're not a franchise, but there is $1,020 a year in expenses, $85 a month. That includes your KV Core. What's KV Core? Oh, just the best CRM you can get for your money. It costs $500, but because you're part of a larger group, we get it within this $50 tech package. And you also get SkySlope, which is kind of like Loop on steroids. So if you were just buy those two programs on your own, you're talking about maybe $500 to $600 a month. Then we've got, no, actually it's like $1,000 a month. What am I talking about? Then we've got $35 a month that covers your EXP University, which is 10 to 20 live trainings a day, and you've even got trainings on the weekends. You wouldn't even have enough time to take all of those trainings if you wanted to. And if all I did was focus my attention on training you guys, I still couldn't keep up with this. This is impossible for any broker or brokerage to do. So imagine if you went out to the open market and said, hey, I need to get myself a trainer. How much does a trainer cost? About $1,000 a month, right? So now we're talking about $2,000 a month in value for 85 bucks. Pretty good deal. We've got $750 a year for transaction fees, which basically $25 per transaction is your compliance review. Why? Because we're a virtual brokerage and somebody's got to make sure you don't get fined $10,000 for missing a lead-based paint or a CIS or whatever it is that you need in your state. So makes sense, right? Yeah, it makes sense. $750. So that means you paid $17,770 to work at EXP versus my $45,500. Most agents would look at this and say, you know what, that's a good deal, sign me up. But some won't, because some have that brainwashed mentality about, no, this is my tribe. These are my colors. This is my balloon. This is my that, whatever it is. And you can't break that out. But then when you look at this and you say, okay, well, look, you're keeping 207 instead of 179, but on top of that, you've got some things that you'll never get anywhere else. You close your first deal every year, you've got $200 bonus in company stock. You cap, you hit that 16,000 mark, you got an extra of $400 in company stock. You join this stock program, which allows you to take 5% of your gross commissions and buy company stock at a 10% discount. When we started, it went from 20 to 10. It was like, oh, by the way, it's 10 now. I'm like, oh, man, you had me sold with the 20. Well, it's 10%. So if we account just the 10% savings, not the actual money that comes out, but just the savings on that production, it's an extra $1,125 a year. And since you're going to do 30 transactions, right? You told me you could do 30. That means you qualify for icon bonus, which means you get your 16,000 back that you used to cap. You get it back in company stock, which means if the stock did nothing all year, it stayed completely flat, you would get back between compensation and stock, you get back $224,955. You made $225, you paid $45 to work there that year. If the stock was up 1%, they paid you to work there. That's incredible, right? You show anybody this and they're like, sign me up. Sign me up. Now let's talk about the emotional person. Can you scroll me over to, let's go to agent survey first, and then we'll do broker survey last. Oh yeah, I've got this. And you can tweak them. Like if you go back one real quick, Micah, can you go back real quick? If your company, yeah, comparison. If your company does 60/40s, you can just click on that and change that to a 40. Automatically everything repopulates. If you change this to, you change that to 10, you change that to a 10, the icon disappears. Go ahead, change that to a 10. Yeah, that right there. Change that to a 10. Or 29. You could change it to anything you want. Oh, you know what? You got to make a copy, but don't worry. You can make a copy. Okay, you go to agent survey, right? So, agent survey. This is how you get in the head of someone who's more of a emotional thinker, not so much an analytical person. So, let me talk to you as a human being, as someone who actually has needs. Let's start with training and mentoring. Can you grade your company? Grade your company on how your training and mentoring is. Give me a 1 to a 10. So can you click on 1 to a 10? Can you click on here on the rating? Here? Yeah, click on that. But you know what? Make a copy then. Can you go to File, Make Copy? Yeah, there you go. Cool. Now go back to agent survey. Can somebody volunteer and be can you volunteer for me? Sure. All right. How would you grade your company? Let's just say you're an agent working for your previous company. Let's just say, right, no bias at all. How would you have graded your real estate company if you're an agent, not the broker? Grade me from a 1 to a 10 in training and mentoring. What was it?
So I'll use my last broker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 1 is the highest, 10 is the
Yeah.
lowest.
So 1 being the worst and 10 being the best.
I would say a 6.
Okay, 6, okay. Okay, so what was your overhead like as an agent? 1 being the highest, which means that was like super expensive to work there, like fee max, or was it a 10, which is like, man, they barely pay anything? 3. A 3, okay. Go to a 3. All right, how about your commission structure? Are you 100% happy with the commission structure? No. Okay, so what do you give it, a 1 to a 10?
I'll give it a 3.
3. All right, how about the business growth? How much have you grown in the last 12 months in your business?
I'll give that a 3 as well.
Give it a 3. All right, so how about marketing? How much is your marketing budget?
From them?
Yeah, do you get any marketing?
1.
It's a 1, okay, so you got a 1. All right, how about your lead generation? How much do they help you with your lead generating?
1.
1, okay. All right, so tell me about the systems, the CRMs, the transaction management tools that they've given you.
Any other stuff, I didn't like it.
Okay, so go to a 1.
1.
Yeah, go to a 1. How about the technology? What about their websites or apps communication? All right. Okay, tell me about the company culture. Is everyone there stabbing each other in the back for the same clients? Yeah?
7.
7? Okay, it was a good company culture. Okay. How about your retirement or savings? Do they help you with retirement or savings? No?
-7.
Okay, -7. So go to 1. Go to 1. Yeah.
1.
All right, so give me your happiness and fulfillment. Are you where you want to be in your career?
We'll give it a 5.
A 5, all right. All right, let's go to free time and quality of life. Are you spending enough time with your family and passions?
5.
5, okay. And if you don't know what these things means, guys, they're right here. All right. Tell me about your company's residual income.
1.
No, none. What? Really? They don't do that at your place? All right. Does your company have stock awards? Do you have ownership?
1.
1. All right. How many office locations do you guys have?
1.
Oh my God. All right, go 1. So now she's basically just laid out what I need to talk to her about. Am I gonna focus on Seven's company culture? No, because she loves her tribe. She likes the people there. So I'm not gonna bash her company culture, but I am gonna talk about lead generation, marketing, systems, tools. I'm gonna talk about residual income, ownership options, and office locations. She just basically told me she's graded her current real estate company at a 26. Is that room for improvement? Right? So anyone you talk to, you don't have to go in there and try to pitch or throw up on them, as you guys say. Just say, hey, listen, I'm conducting a survey to some of the agent friends that I have. Would you mind answering a couple questions for me? Bang, you've got yourself all the ammunition. They just set themselves up. You don't have to go in there with the stock. I literally spoke to a lady about stock, a broker. She has like 45 agents, and Joelle was there. I'm telling her about this stock. I'm like, listen, this stock is going to catch fire. I should call her now and tell her, like, dude, have you seen the stock? It's 160. It was like $20 when I talked to her. She's like, I hate stock. I lost so much money in stock. Oh, you know what? I'm not interested anymore. That's what she said. And it was because of me. It was my fault, because I started telling her what I liked about the company instead of asking her what she liked about the company. So if I speak to another broker, again, what do? I go to my broker questions. Can you scroll over to the broker questions? And now I ask her about the broker questions. So tell me about your agent retention. Have you lost any agents in the last 12 months?
Yes.
Right? So let's go ahead. What do you give yourself, a 1 to a 12? I mean, 1 to a 10.
We'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. All my top producers I was burning and churning. I was losing them all, right? So agent recruiting, how's your recruiting going?
Oh, it's a 1.
That's a 1, okay. Tell me about your office training. How much training do you do per week?
God, it's killing me.
And it's killed me too. I don't know what you're saying.
We'll give it a 2.
Give that a 2. All right, now talk to me about your overhead. Were you anything like me, spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on overhead?
Yeah,
Oh.
I keep transferring my staff.
Yeah?
It's costing me a lot, so I'll give it a 2.
2, all right. Her and I started tracking our numbers really, really well towards the end before making this decision, and it literally made me ill, what we were spending. It was crazy. Net profit, are you happy with your net profit?
Of course not.
Oh, man, there's room for improvement. How about your agent?
3.
3? Talk to me about your agent participation. What percentage of your agents show up for events? These bastards.
We'll give them 5.
5,
I do
okay.
have my followers.
Okay. How about your company growth? How much have you grown in the last 12 months?
No, we've been static.
Pretty static, all right.
So we'll say a 2.
2.
We need to be growing.
Okay. How much is your marketing budget?
Too high, but I can't give it up.
Okay, so you would say it's probably pretty high. It's a low score then.
So let's go a 2.
Okay. Talk to me about how many leads you've generated for the company.
Well, I generate them, but they don't do anything with them.
So you generate a lot, so you're happy with the amount of generation you're doing?
Not necessarily. So
Okay.
We'll say 2.
A 2.
Because the agents aren't happy.
Okay. Talk to me about the systems you have. Are you happy with your systems?
I love what I'm using, so we're going to give that a 7.
Okay. All right. Tell me about the tech you've invested in. Do you have any great websites, apps, or communication systems?
No, that's a 1. I can't keep up.
Okay. Talk to me about the company culture you've got.
Oh, they love me.
Okay.
10.
Okay, go with a 10 on that. Okay, tell me how you've helped your agents set up their retirement savings.
You mean my savings?
Well, yeah, let's go with that too, because really this is about you as the broker. So, I mean, when you want to retire, I mean, what do you have besides the brokerage?
This so I could get out of the business.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still in the business, so I'm going to say a 4.
Yeah. When I talk to a lot of brokers, a lot of them tell me, yeah, I've got investments in real estate. So a lot of them are okay, but you'd be surprised how many of them don't have any of that. So that one may not be as popular for a lot, but when you tell them about, look, how much have you helped your agents set up, that could be a little bit of a switch there. Happiness and fulfillment. Are you where you want to be in your career? You know, that's...
I think I am, but then when my financial guy just sat down with me, and no, I'm not.
Yeah.
So that's a 3.
Yeah. And then the last question, are you spending enough time with your family and passions, free time and quality of life? For most brokers, this is horrible.
This is a 1.
If anybody tells you I'm super balanced, they're lying. They're definitely lying. All right, so look, she's got a post score of a 32 out of 100, and I know where my targets are now, so I know what I got to talk to her about. And yeah, this is really what you need in order. But you know what you got to do? When I sat with a broker and I went through these questions, you kind of have to explain to them why you're asking these questions instead of just jumping into these questions. And the reason why is because they're going to feel like they're on that show 20 questions, right? So what I do when I sit with a broker or a team leader is like, listen, I'm here on a time limit. I know you are too. So before I just start telling you what I love about the company, let me see where you need help at first. And don't give me an explanation, because what they tend to do is like, I ask them, how's your agent recruiting? Oh, you know what? We don't work that way. We don't have to recruit agents because we do so well that our agents recruit other agents. They're lying, right? And then you say, I don't recruit just anyone. I only recruit high agents. So I only did 2 last year. They're lying again. Like, I don't need to hear your explanation. Just give me the 3-second version. I don't need to hear your explanation for why your net profit is low. Just give me the 3-second explanation, right? Because if you go through 15 questions with them, and each one of these, they're going to be like, well, I don't do agent retention that well because last year I was out with a hernia and I was, my agents were tired. I don't want to hear all that. Just give me the answer, because if you go through that, you'll spend an hour and you won't even get to the topic, and they'll be burnt out by the time this is done. Okay? So before you do, make sure you set those guidelines. Yeah.
Do you do this over the phone or in person?
It's much better to do it as a visual. So if you can't do it in person, you have to do it on Zoom. A visual is better because they look at their score and they're like, damn, that's shameful.
Showing them this the whole time.
Yeah, you have to show them.
It's okay, we'll kind of leave the Q&A maybe, because Dave Canord is coming.
Oh, yeah? Okay, cool.
So I want you to be able to run through yours.
Cool. Yeah, so let me just scroll through these real quick and then I will, I'll get out of here. So, all right, so a lot of people later say to me, is there anything you could leave me with? So I've created this part right here where it says testimonials, where I broke down everything that is for Keller Williams agents. And I think I've shared this with you, William. Everything that's for Keller Williams agents, here are videos from Keller Williams agents, testimonials from them. For brokers, for team leaders, for RE/MAX, for Century 21, for new agents. Scroll down a little bit. So new agents, new agents say, but I heard EXP is not for new agents because they give you no support. Well, here are new agents telling you why it's actually a good place. And if you've got someone who just doesn't fit any of these criteria but needs general information, well, you've got some of the best ones on the internet. You've got Brett introduces his journey. You've got Curtis Johnson, who did, I want you to play that one before we're done. And you've got here Gene Fredericks, who gave that presentation that he did. It looks like it's from 1984, but it's so powerful. And then you've got the last one that I think is the 9-minute one, that little quick one, little intro. I don't like that one too much, but some people, they don't have the patience to sit through an hour. But that one's powerful. I like Curtis's for anyone who's thinking of being a builder, who's going to grow an organization, because that one's good. It's actually not even a YouTube video. It's a Facebook video he did. And I want to show you guys one last. Oh yeah, go to tab number 1. So once you've got them where you want them, you got them in that corner, you got to deliver that final blow, right? So go to tab number 1. No, you're on tab 2. Scroll over a bit. Yeah. All right, so how many agents you got in your organization? How many are you bringing with you? 35. All right, can you put 35 on level 1, please? Okay, 35. Okay, you see how that reset? Okay. If, do you believe in the law of averages?
Sure.
All right, do you think that each one of your agents is going to bring 10 agents to your organization? Probably not, right?
Probably.
Do you think they're going to bring 0 people?
Possibly.
Possibly, right? But some of them are going to be outliers. So can we say that over time, each agent might bring 2?
Okay.
Some might bring 0, some might bring 4, some might bring 5, some might bring 1. So let's say 2, right? Because historically, that's how it's worked. And if you don't believe me, there is a ton of examples that I can send to you where people have grown organizations through here, and it pretty much doubles on every level. Hence, we've got Curtis Johnson's example that I can give her. It's a 3-minute video, 5-minute video. She can watch and she's like, oh, wow, you weren't lying. So we've got 35 on the first. We got 70 on the second. Can you go to 140 on the third? 280 on the fourth. Yeah, 560 on the fifth, 1020 and 2040. 1020. 2040. All right. That's $6 million that you can possibly earn in this organization, right? Is this probable? Probably not. But would you be happy with half of this? Would you be happy with a quarter of it? Is that more than you're making now? What are you waiting for? So this is kind of like the nail in the coffin. Yeah. And then the last thing that I'm going to show you before I go is if you go to the other spreadsheet that I gave you guys. This is on my private spreadsheet, which I can give to you guys if you need it too.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah, the reason why is because just like Conda, right? Just like Conda, I'm a spreadsheet like fiend. So I created a spreadsheet where it showed how much money I was making previously with my old organization to what we were going to make afterwards. And what I did was I gave every one of my agents a 15% bonus. That way they wouldn't feel the split with EXP. Because remember, they still have to pay EXP 20%.
That's the one you ran already with Lewis on it. Which one? The one that has
She
Lewis
gave him
and
15% bonus.
Yeah, so I'll explain to you guys what I mean. Yeah, so I'll explain to you what I mean. Yeah, that one, this is Lewis. Okay, go to my final tab, where it says structure. There you go. All right, so what I did here was I named every single one of my agents that I had in the organization at that time. I put the split that they were currently on. I put what they made us in the last 12 months. Then I put down the new split that I was going to give them because I did the math where I figured that I'd have to give them an extra 15% in order for them not to feel the 20% burden. So basically this person would go from a 50 to basically a 52 because when you take a $10,000 commission, right, and you go with a 50-50 split, they keep $5,000. But if I put them on a new split at a 65%, now they're going to keep $6,500, but then they got to give EXP 20, so that leaves them with $5,200. So even with the split, they're still making $200 more. All right, so I did it that way for them not to say, I don't want to make less money. I'd rather take the 15% hit. Yeah, once they cap, then it's forget it, right? But they, yeah, I keep it. I leave it alone. Yeah, and I only kept this structure for like, what, a month or two? And then I went full rev share. I just kept I put everybody on 80-20s with 16%, a $16,000 cap. And I'll tell you guys why I did that. Then I put down what I would make from them with the new split. Then I put down what I would make from the rev share, because you don't get a full rev share on them. You guys know because they're a team member. Yeah. And then I put down how much I'd get from the company stock in that first year when they did their first closings. So if you scroll down all the way to the totals, Micah, for me? If you could scroll down to the totals. Yeah, keep scrolling. Okay. Scroll over to the left. All right. So at the bottom, you see that the year prior, we netted, we grossed from their portions about $571,000. And then what we looked at here was that now we would only make $278,000. But then a lot of brokers, that's where their math stops. But then you also have to take into consideration the $75,000 we're getting from revenue share, the $20,000 we were getting from the stock the first year, and then the $24,000 in savings. And that wasn't even accounting the loss of my office, which came after the pandemic. This was only accounting for the systems, the tools that they were providing that I was already paying for. So this all came back in as savings. So that means that in total, we were going to walk away with $398,000 as opposed to $571,000, which if you do the math is about a 15% loss. But then I said, I'm giving up 15% of the income, but what am I gaining? And then all I had to do was go back to our rev share table. Can you go back to the rev share table? The one on the prior, instead of putting 50 here, let's put 75. Instead of putting 50 here, give me a 75. Because that's, yeah, and I'm saying 75, guys, because out of the 96 agents we kept, we kept 75 because there's agents that find $85 a month to be too expensive to invest in themselves.
And Louis, what I'm going to do, if we can continue this.
Yeah, we will. So once you go through a presentation like this, or once you understand what makes the person tick, what I use as the coffin and the nail in the coffin, I guess you would say, would be basically this. Because in my situation, I was losing 15% on switching over to eXp Realty. So me being able to crunch those numbers, if I didn't dig any deeper, if I just left it on the surface, I probably wouldn't have made any sense for me. I'm like, you know what? And I think a lot of brokers think that. They're like, I've already got a good thing going. Why am I going to give eXp 15%? Or why am I going to pay eXp 20%? Why should I do that? When you plug in how many agents that broker has on the front line and then show them how it tends to double on each line as long as you're playing your part, that you should be anyway, you're a broker, and you're giving your agent support, it'll tend to double. And if you pass that on to the next lineage and the next lineage, everyone's going to have more of a chance to make it grow to the 7th level. I'm not sure how many years it took Micah and Hamudi to get to the 7th level, but eventually it'll get there. So what I always hit them with is this. Time is going to pass anyway. What are you going to do with that time? Because if you say, I'll never get to the 7th level, yeah, of course, with that thinking, you'll never get to the 7th level. But how long have you been in real estate? Well, I've been in real estate for 15 years. Okay, so imagine if you started this 15 years ago. Would you think you'd be at 7th level? Guy probably like, yeah, well, I probably would be. So do you got 15 more years to live? I of course hope I do, right? That's what they're gonna say. So the time is gonna pass. So this is eventually gonna work. And this is what I use last, because when you plug in numbers, even if you go super conservative and you just go, let's just imagine nobody doubles. And let's just imagine that everyone just brings one person, and you have maybe, I don't know, you build 40 over the next 4 years. You do 10 a year, or you do 40 over the next 5 years, however many. And then let's just say you're 40, just bring one apiece, and you got 40 on each level. Like, what is that going to be? And that's really what I use to kind of seal the deal. And then I shut up. And then the next line, like Hamudi and Micah have been using, what excited you the most? You know, something like that. And you kind of just listen to them and see what their thoughts are. They're always going to have reservations. They're always going to feel like, okay, there's something here that's not going to work for me. There's something here that doesn't make sense. For me, it was I do a lot of investment properties. So for Joelle and myself, we were kind of like, okay, well, how are they going to look at our investment properties? Hamudi and Mike are investors, so they explained that to me. And a lot of the things were just misconceptions. What if somebody leaves my downline? Does that mean that line is broken now? And like I don't get paid on anyone below them? Like these are a lot of things that I was not informed of. And a lot of people don't make the decision because they're misinformed, or maybe they just don't have enough information. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll take questions now. But before I do conclude, I want to do a couple of things with you guys to kind of get you, re-engaged again. Go ahead. I'm sorry, sweetheart.
No, you're okay.
Mhm.
I was just wondering, because touching on that point, what if someone does leave on your downline?
Yeah.
Are those people gone from you now? That's a really good point.
Yeah. So let's just say I had, I don't know, one person on my second level who left. That person's lineage, let's say they had 3 other people, that would just skip that line and go to me or to my level 1 people, and then come up to me. The rev share that they would have received goes to the company,
Okay.
which then also comes back to us if there's any surplus.
Right.
That's why some months we have, the company always gives back a little bit more. That's because of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So they just take over that one position.
So the holes go to the company.
Yes.
We are the
rest
company.
goes up.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
We are the
Yeah, we are the company. How often could you say
The
that?
price don't go up. They don't shift, and they did that intentionally because there are other companies that they shift up.
Yeah.
And that can be manipulated, and that's what, again, Glenn didn't want that to happen. So nobody, everybody stays the same. They would just take that, EXP would just take that one placeholder.
Yeah.
Right.
But it does not shift up.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure.
Okay. Now I want to also, obviously, I didn't do any of this, and I didn't create anything on my own. Joelle was a big part of the whole process, so I'd kind of like to bring her up here because she can tell you how difficult this is for a brokerage to do. It's not easy to do something like this, so I kind of want her to explain to you what the drawbacks or pitfalls may be, and that way you guys can kind of see the downside of it too. Because when you prepare something, or when you prepare someone mentally, then nothing ever comes as a surprise, right? You guys know that with clients, right? When you have a listing, you set an expectation, because when you don't, they're going to be like, you should have told me that. But when you tell them all the things that can go wrong, when they go wrong, they kind of say, oh, you know what? He told me that, or she told me that. So this is important too in making a transition. You got to set expectations correctly. At first, one of the Achilles heels for EXP was the onboarding, and they knocked out the park with us. I think they did great. So you want to talk on that?
The onboarding, well, first, when Lewis was talking to me about it, I don't know if you remember this, but you actually had an old brokerage. I don't remember the company, but you had 2 individuals who came to the office and was offering you a franchise. I don't remember the company though.
There's a bunch of companies offering us
So,
franchises. I'm sure everyone here.
and it's funny because he just did that out of laugh. He was like, "Oh,
yeah,
come
I was just
by."
taking a meeting so I could learn from whatever they were trying to
Yeah.
teach me. Yeah.
So, and again, I'm for him and I, from when we both started the company, just us two, going Monday through Sunday, building the company from scratch. And so to me, Culture State was, even though he was the sole owner of it, it was my baby too. And I was like all forward for it. So when he talked to me about EXP, the first thing I said was, okay, let's look at it.
I told her a few times, she said no.
Yeah, but I was like, and then, because again, compared to him, I take longer to understand something than he does.
Yeah.
So he had to break it down, and then he got me on the call with Micah, and then I forget people's names, but there was a few people on the call, and I was like, I need more information. I can't just go based off of like one person. I need more. And again, when he dives into something, he dives in, and he was like obsessed. And I swear, when he gets obsessed, it's like obsessed, like a kid on a video game. So he was on it for 30 days, actually, 30 days he was on it. And once he was done, he included me in. I was like, okay, no. And then at the end of it, I was like, yeah, let's just do this. So,
What changed your mind?
it's hard. I remember, I'm so sorry, Kanda, you were talking about how owning an independent brokerage is hard. It is. It's freaking hard. And just us two, you have over 100 agents and you're managing them. Not just them, but you're managing their emotions. Then if you get lawsuits, you're managing that. It's a mental thing and also draining. So, and I think I was like 25, 20 something when this whole thing was going on. So when he said like we'll be just working on ourselves and just helping them, like not babying them, I was like, okay, one thing off of my shoulder, at least one side is gone. Now the other side is just onboarding them, getting them just little baby steps to get them into the system, into EXP. So at first it was just telling them, let's come meet. They were all terrified. They're like, Lewis wants to meet with us. What's going on? What's happening? And they keep calling me before their meeting. They're like, are we in trouble? What's going on? And I'm like, you're fine. Just listen. Just sit down. Everything's fine. No one's dying here. We're good. So after all of that, they're like, okay, that's good. Of course, they had more questions. Everybody always has questions. If you don't have questions, then you did not pay attention. So after everything, I sat down with them, just like with Lewis. I sat down with them and I did the onboarding with them. And of course, they all had questions after every single thing. Some were a little bit more reserved than others. And then some of them, at the end of it, after doing all of the application with them, they're like, yeah, no, I can't do virtual. And I'm like, okay, fine by me. Of course, it sucks because you want everyone to go with you. You don't like to see people leave, but
Great. I mean, I think all in all, didn't lose much.
yeah, but when we lose one, it affected us. Because, like, again, like, we were family. It felt like a breakup. So,
And
and
they go to our competitors, like.
yeah, that's the one thing.
stab in the
Because
back.
they knew exactly. And again, I'm very, very upfront. So he's told me once or twice, like, don't say that to them. And I'm like, no, like, you backstabbed us. And that's messed up. So, I mean, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, she's got no filter.
No, he's the filter.
I'm the
I'm
good cop,
not.
That's literally, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Smiling now. She's not used to smiling.
Yeah, usually she doesn't smile.
But no, it was a lot. It took months for me to onboard people. I think they gave us like a 4-month time span. 4
Well,
months.
it took us a while just because.
Before you went on, we had to get them on. Yeah, and then like how you were saying before that it's you have to look at your emails. I forgot how many times, whether it's 8 o'clock at night, I've gotten a call at 11 o'clock at night asking me, I haven't got anything from EXP, and I'm like, all right, jump on Hangouts, Google Hangouts real quick. I'm like, just type in EXP on your Google search bar. They're like, there's like 2 emails unread, and I'm like, you have to look at your emails. You get text messages. I opted you on that because they're gonna text you. That's important, especially when you're just starting. And yeah, it was a lot.
On that, I think it was important too. You guys filled out the applications with the agent.
Yeah, we had to.
Just send out the application
No.
link.
We
And
can't.
that's one thing that Brent Gove was kind of saying in a class that he did last week, that if you lose an agent and they go to somebody else, shame on you because you gave them too much time to fill out the application.
Mm-hmm.
What's your problem, man?
Yeah, we made appointments for them to come in and fill out their paperwork. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of why it stinks. Yeah, but no, that's kind of why it hurt us because we took a lot of time. Like for example, when he was saying that Culture State, like the people just come to Culture State, get the trainings, and then leave. He was doing all of the trainings. There was masterminds every Monday. Then people would bombard his phone. Like I swear, it was hard to get a conversation with him, even though we were in the same office, because there was always phone calls, people coming in, and he would do the trainings himself. So yeah, it did hurt us when people left. But then over time, we're like, all right, that's it. We can't take this personal anymore.
No, no,
So
no.
have you gotten them to take advantage of all of it? Have you gotten them to embrace the whole, university virtual nature of EXP?
Oh yeah.
And did that help? That I have to imagine it helped that you helped them on board and really kind of made sure they understood all of that.
That's the one thing is that I love that EXP has the schedule already set. So whenever I did the trainings with them, I used to do it every Mondays right after he did his masterminds. I would show them like how to use the EXP Enterprise, how to use all the system it has, everything. And yeah, some of them don't utilize it like they should, But that we had this one agent, Harry's wife, Elizabeth. She knew more than I did, and I'm like, oh my god, like you've been in it less than I have. So people do use it, and she said she's like, it's great. Like Sky Slope, I took the advanced classes. It's amazing, which I have to take it because I need to learn more about Sky Slope. But people do use it, and it is a benefit.
You guys have gone. You've gone. I mean, you got rid of the office, so you've gone completely virtual.
We did, and I was
Oh,
opposed
yeah?
to getting rid of the office. It wasn't something I had in my cards. We are going to have a branch office for EXP. And then after COVID hit, we were like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this couldn't have come in a better time to be with EXP.
They
It was
even
just
moved to
crazy.
Florida.
I even moved to Florida, yeah.
Hey guys, we're gonna be neighbors.
My limiting mindset was that if I didn't have an office, my agents wouldn't want to be with us anymore.
Right.
So then I said to them, you can get higher commission, we get rid of the office, or we can keep the office and you guys can have the same commission. They were like, oh, we'll just get more
Is that
commission.
why you moved them to being just
Virtual?
a lot of them to independent agents? So are they
Oh.
now like not?
Yeah, so I
are they
didn't get to that
joining?
point yet. I'll explain to you guys why
Okay.
I did that decision in a minute.
I'm actually done. You can go.
You good?
I'm good.
Any questions for Joelle before she comes up?
I got a quick
Sorry.
question. You had said something about you helped him walk through. What was that computer program or whatever that you had that you could see their screen?
Oh, Google Hangouts.
Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
You
I would
can
use.
Zoom, too.
Yeah. Some were not that tech savvy, so it was either FaceTime, sometimes Zoom, Google Hangouts. There was so many
You have to have
different.
options because some
So
people are like, I can't find it on my phone.
Yeah, and then some I had to drive to like a Starbucks. I had to drive to like anywhere. I had to drive some places because they were not good at tech. You go.
Or it's like I think it's Google Meets now.
Now it's Google Meet, yeah.
Google Meet, yeah.
Okay.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free. That's one of the things that people like about it. Yeah. So a transition like this for any company is not going to be easy. So what I want you guys to kind of take away from this is, like I was talking to William earlier today, and he was like, there's this broker that has been on my radar that I've been trying to come on or bring on, but I haven't. But after watching your, what we talked about earlier, you kind of really gave me that reinforcement that it's all right. But what I want you guys to take away from that whole thing is that it's going to take you just as much energy to talk to a broker than it would to talk to a single agent. And I'm sure we all know team leaders and brokers, right? So what is the most efficient way for you to get a downline with hundreds of people in it? Talk to people who have 20 people with them. You could do that. And yeah, you want to talk to individual people. There's nothing wrong with that. I've always said there's nothing wrong with that. But we all have limitations to our time, right? We have families, we have production, we have office, whatever we have going on. So the hours that you do have, focus on the people who might be able to really make a difference in this structure you're trying to put together. And you'll thank yourself later, just working smarter, not harder. And I always say to my agents, when they bring someone and they bring a new agent, they're like, hey, listen, I got this agent and they're really excited about coming on board. I said, okay, wait, pump the brakes. Where do they work? They work at XYZ. Why don't we make an appointment with XYZ's broker first? Let's talk to XYZ's broker. If they come on board, instead of just that one agent coming under you, we'll have the broker and all the agents come under you. And they're like, wow, can we do that? Yeah, why can't we do that? So we try the broker first because we've got the agent guaranteed. And I'm not going to go to the broker and say, hey, broker, if you don't come on, your agent's coming with me anyway. I'm not going to say that. But at least I tried because I don't want to, just take someone's agent without giving the opportunity to the broker first, because I was a broker. And I know how it feels with people spearheading after your agents and going after them. It sucks because you work so hard. And not that I, don't believe in free markets, but at the same time, I do feel like there's the good energy you can put out by giving them the opportunity. Now, whether they choose to take that opportunity is totally up to them. You tried your part, and if they don't want to hear it, like Hamudi says, sometimes you're so upset because you're giving them all this great information and you're giving them literally the keys to a better life, and they don't want to take it. Well, then there's only so much you can do. You take the agent, but it's always good to try because there's opportunities under your nose literally every day. So that's a good way for you guys to go about it. Yes, Reed?
So when you usually tackle brokers, do you tackle brokers that are like underneath a specific brand, such as Coldwell Banker, because, or do you hit like independent brokerages?
Yeah, exactly. Great question. Yeah, it's very difficult to know what stage a franchise is in, because if they just renewed their franchise, they'll have 5 or 10 years that they can't do anything. Even if they have 1 year left and the franchise finds out they're in talks with other people, they can even get taken to court. I have a friend who, Vince Koo. He's out of, you guys might know him. Vincent Koo. He's out of New York City. He's in Queens in New York City. he used to be an Exit franchisee, and Exit found out that he was shopping around other franchises during his last year, and they sued him for $600,000. Yeah, and they went into his office and took all of his furniture. They're crazy. They wiped him out. They wiped him out. So obviously I don't know what the outcome was, but when I met with him a year ago, he was like in the midst of it, and he was literally like, "Look, man, I didn't know what to do. EXP was like my only option to go." He didn't even know what EXP really had in structure-wise. He didn't know how to really structure his team. He was just with EXP because he felt like it was the future, but he knew nothing about EXP. And then when I met with him and I explained to him what kind of structure he can build, he's like, "Oh my God," he's like, "This is genius." And I was like, "Dude, this is I feel the future." So unfortunately, he had to make a decision before even being able to fully understand it, but he made the right decision in my opinion. Now the guy's thriving. He's got like a few hundred agents, and that's just personal. It's like he's huge. What else can I tell you? So what I'd like to do now with you guys is obviously let's not just listen to me talk. I really want to have you guys engage with this. So I need some brave souls here to come up here and try to pitch me pitch me as a broker. And I'm going to give you all of the typical lines that brokers will tell you, and I want to hear how you guys deal with it. So don't make me pick.
Tell us how you switched people over though.
Yeah.
You switched them to the 80/20.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry for skipping that over. Okay, so I decided initially to put everybody on a 15% increase and a 15% bonus, right? Because I didn't want them to lose any money. I'd rather take the loss myself and then make it up in rev share, right?
On your team.
Yeah, because people who are going to be in my rev share on line 2 and on line 3, they probably weren't going to be on my team anyway, right? So I'd get more rev share from them anyway because I wasn't getting a split from their commission. So I figured I'll make it up in future rev share, which I'm okay. I'm patient. I can live off of that money, and I've got my own investments. I'm okay. So I can pretty much do that and make up for it, and then I'll be even in a better position a few years from now. But then a problem occurred because I don't know how you guys do, but I'm not a small thinker at all. I like to picture big. I want big. So when I said, all right, I have almost 100 agents, we're down to 75, I want to make this thousands. How do I make it thousands? By making it thousands, I have to now start recruiting agents from different states, right? So if I pick an agent, let's say a lady I just picked up, her name is Belinda, she's from Georgia. If I bring Belinda on board, Belinda is not going to be utilizing my office. At that point, I had an office. Belinda is not going to be utilizing any of meetings with me personally or anything like that. So why would Belinda sign up for anything less than an 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap? It doesn't make sense. So when I realized that, I said, okay, now I see a potential conflict because if I take Belinda on and she's got the best package in the world, and I just met Belinda last week, meanwhile, I've got all these agents who've been with me for years who have literally helped me build an organization, and I'm still taxing them. That's not fair. So what I did was I wiped out all of my overrides, and I just said, just give me rev share on everybody. So a humongous hit to the bottom line. You can ask her. I was like, this is gonna hurt, but this is the only thing that's right. So I did that from a place of like caring, integrity, because I couldn't live with knowing that I'm making more on people who helped me build something than someone I just met last week. And because of that, we've been able to grow our group pretty wide, but it could have been much better. I just haven't really been focused. Like I told Hamoudi and Mike earlier on when I was here yesterday, like I need to be more accountable because I got so many things going on that I need to make sure this is part of my day. And that's why I did it. That's why I moved over to the rev share model. It's not going to work for everyone. I'll be honest, because some people have more of a local production team. I'm not in production. I don't have a local production team. I have my team that I still mentor and help, but they're not really using me anymore. They're not brand new agents anymore, you know. And when I do go after new agents, they're agents who already know what they're doing. If new agents come on, I just make sure they go with a mentor in a mentorship program. I don't do that anymore because, like Joelle said, I did that for so long. It literally burnt me out to the point where I almost, you know, lost it. I was going crazy because I'm teaching you how to turn on your tablet, or I'm sorry, I'm teaching you how to turn on your laptop, right? You don't even know how to do that. You turn into a top producer closing almost 100 deals a year, and then you go off to another brokerage, you know? So I was not going to do that anymore. So no worries. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So yeah, I want someone to see if you guys can volunteer. If not, you know, I'll obviously volunteer for you.
All right.
All right, now we're really gonna come after you.
All right, calm down. Go for it.
What's up, Mike? Thank you for reaching out, man. How can I help you?
Hey, what's going on, man? Just catching back up with you. I know we met back there. Just wanted to see how things are going. How you been?
Oh, absolutely great, man. I couldn't ask for more. I know that a lot of people have been struggling during this season, but our office has been thriving.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. I know a lot of people have been struggling, especially with COVID and all that good stuff. Let me ask you something, man. What's probably the biggest hurdle that you faced in the last year?
The biggest hurdle for my office is, honestly, man, it's just that I'm like living in the office, man. It's 9 to 9 every day. I'm like,
Yeah.
I live here. I have literally no time. I barely get to see my kids at night.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only issue I'm having. I'm just so busy. I don't have that balance.
Well, that sounds like a big issue, right? The only issue sounds like it's pretty big.
Yeah, it could get there, right?
Yeah. So let me ask you a few questions, man. They'll be real short and sweet, but really I just kind of want to see where you are right now in your business. So just a quick rating scale, and then let's take a look at it from there, man. And let's see if there's any opportunity for us to help each other out.
Sure. Yeah, before we get any further, Mike, what is it that you do, and why would you want to know about my business like that? I thought you were a real estate agent.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, me and some of my senior partners work with real estate agents and independent brokerages, and we help them really design the lifestyle that they deserve. I'm spitting all this out of my ass, guys. I'm trying to think of stuff on the fly.
You said senior partner. I like it.
Design the lifestyle that they deserve. And right now, it sounds like you might want to explore some opportunities. So, my senior partners out, we have well over 1,000 people in our network of agents and independent broker owners, and so we want to see if we can help you out.
Well, I was hoping that maybe I could recruit you to come work with us. We have a real competitive structure here that I'm sure whatever you're getting, I can beat it or match it.
I highly doubt that, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's lay it all out.
I love that.
Yeah.
You see that?
But he did it with a smile, like it was funny.
Yeah, because it is.
Yeah. That's why I said Zoom, because you got like the energy. That's good. That's important. Go ahead, brother.
Cool.
So, yeah, what do you mean, bro? I mean, like, I could give you 100% split.
100%?
Yeah, but you just got to pay, little fees here and there.
Oh, yeah. So what's the fees like overall? Let's say I get 100% split and I sell one house. What I got to pay in fees?
You got to pay a $250 transaction fee, a $99 per month fee, and once a year you pay $500.
Okay, and then how much stocks do I get per transaction?
We don't have any stocks. We're not publicly
I'm sorry,
traded.
you don't have stocks?
No.
Oh, okay. So I'll come and work, but I don't actually own any piece of the company?
No, why? You own shares in your company?
I tell you, man. I'll tell you what. Every single one of our agents are actually owners of the company.
Okay, so how would that even benefit this conversation or me in any way?
Oh, good question. You gotta ask me to come work for you.
Absolutely. You're helping
ownership.
me design a lifestyle. How can I design a lifestyle with that information?
I tell you what, man. How many top producers have left your company in the past year?
More than I care to talk about.
Right. But if they had the incentive to potentially own a piece of your company, do you think they may have stayed?
You know what? I'm going to answer that honestly. You know what? That's something I thought of for years, but I could never figure out how to do it.
Yeah, it's a lot, right? It's real complex, lawyers, the whole nine. Well, the system's already built out over here, right? So it makes it easy, right? And
what company is it that you're with?
EXP.
Oh my God, I've heard about you guys, and it's not something pretty from what I've been hearing. You guys are unprofitable. You guys really have nothing really going on over there besides a pyramid scheme.
Okay. When you heard all that, did it come from somebody within EXP?
I can't recall at the moment.
Yeah, so it's probably not that credible, right?
I can't say it is, and I haven't experienced it myself, so life, would tell me never make assumptions, but I'm open to hearing what you have to say.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, yeah, all I can do is kind of expose it to you. If it works for you, great. If not, no worries, right? No struggle. So let's talk about just a few questions, man, and this will kind of outline where you are to see if we're even a good fit for you.
Okay, go for it.
So agent retention, you already touched on, so you said more than you care. 1 being the absolute worst, 10 being the best. What would you rate your agent retention?
I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been losing some of my top people.
Okay. Now let's talk about recruiting. Now, how hard, 1 being the best, 10 being the worst, how easy has it been or how hard has it been to bring in top talent?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to answer this all honestly, the way I was when I did this. So, recruiting, I'm actually really good at recruiting, so we hold a pretty good presence. My problem is keeping them. So, recruiting, I'll give myself a 9.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Let's talk about office training. If you were legitimately looking at, is this the right thing? Just yeah. So the broker one. All right. Cool. Office training. How many trainings do you do per week? If you would ask the agents, how comfortable are they, or how happy are they with your training?
Well, I do a mastermind every Monday, and then I do also an additional training on Saturday mornings for the ones who can't make it on Mondays. So I feel like I give a lot of value when it comes to training, but I don't know what I don't know. So to me, 2 sounds like a lot, but then you might tell me, hey, listen, 2 is really not that much when you compare yourself to maybe not even your company, Keller Williams or Remax when he constantly do trainings every day. So I think I do pretty good, man. I give myself about a 7 or 8, even though it does take me a lot of time. I do 2 trainings a week personally myself.
Right.
And, I have a dialogue coach that comes in too.
Okay, cool. And again, this is your perception, so let's rock it with a 7.
Yeah.
Let's talk about overhead. Monthly expenses. 1 being the worst, super expensive. 10 being cheap.
Yeah. Let's go 1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's insane.
And then obviously expenses affects your bottom line. Let's talk net profit. How much are you actually keeping? 1 being good.
We're not keeping a good percentage of it.
No,
I would say probably 3.
Agent participation. Do they actually show up to those meetings?
It's that 80-20 rule, man. I've got about 20% that really do show up. I'll give that a 3.
Yeah, and that's why you had to do them on Saturday. See,
I know.
lousy agents, man. Company growth. How fast are you growing? In the last 12 months, have you grown the way that you intended?
My company's been stagnant for the last 12 months. We had a big boom initially, but for the last 12 months, we've been oscillating between 90 and 100. So I would just say that the last 12 months haven't been great. So I'll give it a 5.
Okay. Marketing. How much of your marketing budget is it actually working? Lead generation. Are you tracking it? The conversion rate.
We don't do any paid marketing. We just do marketing on social media. As far as providing leads for the agents, I don't do that. I give them the commission and they use it for their marketing. So I would say probably very low. I'll give it a 3.
All right. And then lead generation. We talked about that. You don't do that, right? So that's a
No, I
1
don't.
or a 2, right?
Yeah. So then let me change my marketing to a 5 because I think I do a pretty decent job marketing the brand. But let's change the lead gen to a 3.
Okay. Systems. What kind of systems you got?
Oh, I got conversion. We've got dot loop. So I think we're good in that department. And to communicate, we use Facebook Messenger. We used to use, right? Facebook groups or whatever you used to use. Whatever, Facebook. Yeah, we used to use that to communicate within office. So I give that about a 7 or an 8.
Okay. And same thing with communication apps and all that. 7 or 8. You feel?
Yeah,
With the
about the
website.
same.
Okay. Company culture. How's the culture going?
It was a 10 at one point, but I feel the company culture has had some bad apples in the recent years, so I would say it's been tarnished, and it's probably around a 7.
Okay. Retirement savings. What's your exit strategy, bro?
I've got a bunch of real estate properties I own, and I feel like I'm going to use those to basically live off of once I retire.
Okay. All right. So we got rental portfolios, but nothing about your current company you have set up for an exit
My
strategy.
company's not going to help me once I'm done. I'm probably going to end up having to sell it or shut it down.
Okay. We're gonna talk about that. Okay.
So
Happy now. How happy are you?
how happy? Oh my God, happy as far as what I'm doing?
Oh, sorry. Did you answer
I'm
that?
gonna say 1 for that one.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. How happy? I know you're busy. COVID. Can't see your family.
I'm really not happy, man. I think, well, if I was being really transparent with him, I'd probably be like, you know what? This is one of those things where you kind of have to almost add 3 to what the person says because they're not going to be 100% honest with you. So if I said, yeah, I'm pretty happy, 5, that means a 2. Like, no one's going to be like, man, I'm miserable. Like, so I would say a 5, and then you could use psychological, analysis when it comes to that. Look at my face, look at my mannerisms,
So I'm that's the point where I'd be like 5. I mean, look at you, man.
You don't look too happy.
Yeah,
bro.
you don't look too
Your
good.
hair is
Look, I'm stressing with you. We're on the same page.
I used to have hair when I opened up my office. I did.
I mean, free time and quality of life. You've already answered this in the beginning, man. So honestly, probably a 2,
I
right?
got like an hour, like a week.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So we'll rock that as a 2.
Yeah.
Now let me as we went through this, basically we just talked about every aspect that truly matters as a broker, as a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, out of a possible 100 points, you've only scored 46%.
Yikes.
Do you see an opportunity for growth there?
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. But I mean, how is your company going to help me with any of this? Like, I see that my overhead's killer. I look at my agent participation and my agent retention being a problem. But what does EXP have for that?
Well, here's the beautiful thing. We actually have a solution for all of this. However, you have some of these things figured out, right? You got your systems, your technology. You understand how to utilize some of these
I
things.
can recruit my ass off.
You can recruit. But let's look at agent retention. For agent retention, you can do this. For overhead, there's no overhead. It's gone. Brick and mortar system is gone, right?
What do you mean?
It's all cloud-based, baby. Let me ask you this. You got an office space right now?
I do.
How much you paid for rent every month?
Just the rent alone?
Just the rent.
It was
That's
like
right.
4K.
It was 40 and change. It was almost $5,000 for
Almost $5,000. Not even including utilities. That's $60,000 eating into your net profit. What if I told you that you could enter an office just like this on Zoom?
But my agents would never go for that.
That's a lie, man. We got over 1,000 agents that went for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Hell out of here. There's 43,000 agents right now in EXP across in the United States alone, and we're entering other countries, man. So it's a business model that's definitely working, right? So that part, that's a limiting belief on your end. Just know that the proof is there. As a matter of fact, you can go back and ask your agents if they'd be happy with that, right? But in addition to that overhead, let's look at retirement savings. All right, you got none, and you have no exit strategy. Remember how you started off with these little baby agents, you trained them up, they're top producers right before they're ready to leave? Yeah. What if you were able to give them the opportunity to step out and start their own thing, but you still benefit from it in the end?
So if I help my agents branch out, I would still benefit?
Yes, you're actually incentivized to help them branch out.
So right now, if they want to do their own thing, they become a team under my structure. And that sometimes gets a little weird because when their team members want to branch out, they either leave the office or they come circle back to me, and that becomes real weird in the office. That vibe.
And then EXP has the model set up perfectly, man, where they can go out and do their thing, and it's a process through rev share and stocks. And I'm kind of, what do you call it? I'm kind of abbreviating this stuff for the sake of the conversation. But yeah, so they got all of that. They got stocks, and so it's actually incentivizes you to produce producers.
Yeah.
And then the beautiful thing about all of this is, how long do you plan on doing this for? For the next how many years?
Maybe 5 to 10.
There's a vesting period with EXP that you bust your ass for 3 years and 1 day, and all of your hard work stays with you for life. Now, how does that sound?
Sounds interesting, but why would I mean, what is this, a franchise? What do I got to pay up front? I mean, is there a fee?
No franchise, man. Believe it or not, this is going to be very hard to conceptualize because you understand that concept of owning a brokerage and the franchise option. Well, EXP is just one single brokerage that has expanded all over the United States and now into several countries. So there is no franchise fee. That's the beautiful part about that. All right. In addition to that, what was your other question?
Well, let me ask you this.
It costs you $85 a month.
There you go.
So you're literally telling me to hand over everything I've worked for, basically my whole professional life, and then just to give it over to EXP Realty? Like, why would I even fathom that?
No, sir. So here's the beautiful thing. EXP also allows you to brand yourself. Now, when I personally came over, I was at Keller Williams for a while. And when I was looking around, it was rough. But when I was looking around, one of the key criteria was that I had to be able to brand myself. I had to be able to keep my company and my brand out there because that's what we built from the ground up. That's what people know us as. When you come over to EXP, you can still brand yourself. Your company will still be there. It'll be powered by EXP. So you're not giving away anything. What you're doing is you're reducing liability, okay?
Yeah.
Decreasing overhead. And you're building in a system that promotes you to promote producers.
Okay.
And you're building an exit strategy.
All right. So what are you taking off my shoulders? I mean, there's a lot of here that I know is not my strong suit. How would you go about that? Or how does the company do that for a broker? And are there other brokers who have done this?
Oh, hundreds of them. Actually, I got a few. We can actually get on the call next. I'm calling y'all. So, yeah, I got a few. We'll get on a call right after this, or later on next week if you really like to.
Sure.
Or like Hamadi says, we'll do it right now.
Stay right.
Yeah, stay here.
Let me see if they're available.
Well, we'll see if they're available. But what we can do is we really will cover everything, right? So agent retention, that's something that you've done and you've built through your personal brand. But we also have some of those marketing materials and other opportunities for you to get out in front of an audience to help bring more eyes to you. Agent recruiting, I guess that's part of the same thing. Sorry, flip that. It's all fine. Agent retention is exactly that point that I researched with the stock shares and the rev share and all that good stuff. It gives them an out so they can go off and build now their own brand, their own team, but they never leave you, right? Office training, bro, it's there for days. Matter of fact, let me pull it up. If you see here on EXP University, you see these, all these, that's just for Monday. They have this every day of the week.
That's insane.
Overhead, done. We talked about that. Once you reduce overhead, what automatically increases? Your net profit, right? Agent participation, now obviously as you're aware, it's an 80-20 rule. We can't, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make them drink. The beautiful fact is that we now have opened them to multiple opportunities for them to participate in training, in other events, EXP conferences, and all this other good stuff. Company growth, we're growing.
We're bigger.
Marketing, we got it all. Everything is already built out for you. The beautiful thing is you bring over your logo, you get it approved by EXP, bam, you're done. Flyers, signs, it's all printed out for you. Lead generation, we got that. All within our systems and technology through KV Core, Skyslope, Dotloop, that's all included in that little $85 a month. So now whatever you're paying there, again, goes back to that overhead. Gone. Company culture, come on, man. I can tell you vibing. This is the culture. Retirement savings, we already talked about it. But the biggest thing, man, is your happiness and your free time, understanding that you just want to be with your family. The whole reason we all started a business in the first place was for our family.
Yeah.
Now you're grinding 24 hours a day. What's the purpose, man? So ultimately, all those things we can help you with, but the most important are the last two.
That's great, man. Give it up for Mike, man.
So.
The other thing I want to add before you go is I want you've got me on the ropes. Now I need you to deliver that uppercut.
Okay.
So where do you want me to go next?
So,
where are you taking me?
all right.
Rev share breakdown.
With this presentation or
What's my
What's the next step?
What's my next step? What do you want to do?
Leave an
from
appointment
here?
with an appointment.
All right, you've got me all excited.
Yep.
Now you just gonna leave me here?
Yep, I got you. Yep. I'm gonna warm you up. I'm gonna finish you off. I got you. So what's gonna happen?
All right, come on.
I'm saying, all right, man. I'll tell you what. Tomorrow at 2. I know you got to be free, man. Let's make some time. Or tomorrow at 5:30. I'm gonna get you on the phone with that other broker scene that we talked about, right? Let's you hear their story. At the end of that conversation, I want you to give me a yes or no for a follow-up meeting. From there, we can answer any questions that you might have, and we'll get the ball rolling. How's that sound?
That sounds amazing. That's great. That's very good. The only thing I would add is this. I would say, unless it was roles were reversed, I would say, Mike, all of the things that you expressed today that are of concern for you, I know for sure that my senior partner has gone through because she is a broker and she had the same issues that you've had. It's universal. It's real estate. She went from having almost no agents to having almost 900 agents in an organization. All she does now is look for places to move to where she can pay less taxes. Does it sound good to you? You kind of like, you make them feel like this is the same problem.
Right.
Let's get these two together so you can learn from her. And Mike, I promise you this. If you don't like what she has to say, dude, you're under no obligation. But what if she's right and she can change your life?
I am always right.
There you go.
That's always right.
That's good. Yeah, now, how long we have time?
Let's just say you're
Done.
calling them out of the blue.
Yeah.
Hey, Louis, how are you?
What's up,
I
bro?
just called you, I see you're a broker in New Jersey. How is it?
Oh, man, I'm doing great out here, man. How about yourself?
Good, man. I do a lot of things here in Oklahoma. We do a lot of investments as a real estate and all that. And I see you're doing good over there in New Jersey. How long you been in business?
I'm coming up on 18, 19 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I knew that old.
I started when I was 10. I got an exemption from Bill Clinton at that time, so
That's awesome. How many agents you have?
We have just under 100.
Oh, what's your goal this year?
Well, I'm looking into franchising my brand, and we've got the paperwork done. As a matter of fact, I just came from meeting with a franchisee who wants to come on board. So I'm really excited right now, man. I'm pumped.
What make you do that?
Well, it's my next level to elevate my brand. I want to grow into different parts of the country, and this is probably the easiest and fastest way for me, and the most cost-effective way for me to do it.
Man, did you heard about the EXP?
Oh, man. EXP, they came to me about 2 years ago, and to be honest with you, man, I don't like their model. It just rubs me the wrong way. I've been involved in, I've been involved in marketing, pyramid schemes, multi-marketing schemes before. Not that they're schemes, but, I don't want to put that on my agents, for them to have to become have this kind of aura about them as being, always after agents. So it's not something I think I'd be interested in.
But what make you say that?
Because pyramids usually tumble, eventually down the line they break. They don't last. That model is not that good.
This means why you have your broker license. You have agents under you, right?
Yeah, I do, of course.
This means you recruit agents too.
I do, absolutely.
This means you're the only one get benefit when you get 100 agents, not the agents.
Well, if they bring an agent, I give them also a residual on that agent.
For how long?
For as long as that agent stays with us.
All right. For how many level?
Just the one agent.
All right. This means if I come in, if I bring 100 agents, what's the benefit?
If you come in and bring 100 agents, you get paid on all those 100 agents.
All right. But the only thing I feel like I'm going to be limited only in New Jersey, right?
Oh yeah,
Can
we're
I
not
do this in
licensed in
California?
United States. No, we're not licensed in
All
California.
right. I cannot do it in Florida too. That's my plan. I want to move there.
Oh man, then I wouldn't be able to help you.
But what about if I show you a way, actually similar to what you're doing,
Yeah.
but it's already open in every state in the country. Would you be open for it?
You could show me a way to be able to do business in all states?
Yeah.
How's
you
that?
can recruit agents in California and Florida, New York, anywhere.
How does EXP do that?
All right. Do you want me to tell you how is EXP structured?
Well, give me the bird's eye view.
All right, I
Just
want to give you a few things. I mean,
quick
what I like about the EXP, that's why I got my attention is, it's 80-20, $16,000 cap, and after you hit the cap, you get 100%. You close another 20 transaction, you're eligible to become an icon agent, and that's why we're able to attract a lot of top agents to the company. And the other thing, I'm not limited to only in Oklahoma City to bring agents, you know, because I'm come from investment side. I want to do like more. It's not just in one area. I want to grow my business in different states.
Okay.
You know, and I'm able to get agents in New York, New Jersey, Florida, California, anywhere.
Sure.
You
Okay,
know.
so you're able to build a bigger network because you're able
Exactly.
to use. Okay. Well, building a huge organization like that is important for me, but it's not the most important thing for me right now.
What's important for you?
Exactly. That's where you need to go.
Yeah.
Right. Been losing a lot of agents recently.
All right. Why are you losing a lot of agents?
Because I can't compete with these franchises. They give them packages that I can not compete with and I won't compete with.
All right. All right. What about if we figure out a way, me and you, we can help your agents as training. The reason you're losing a lot of agents, maybe they don't see value with your training.
It's the money, man. I can't compete with the money.
And the money. Imagine if you open this opportunity for your agents to do the same thing as you bring in agents. It's not only in New Jersey, in different states, because I'm sure your agents know a lot of people in Florida, California, anywhere. If you give them this opportunity, you think this will help?
Well, absolutely, but they'd have to be incentivized where they'd have a higher split than anywhere else. How do you guys go about that?
You know, honestly, it's not, because I think you, in this situation, I feel like you're thinking just about the split. It's not just about the split. Because you're looking at how much I can save, it's not like how much I can grow.
Okay.
In my situation right now, I don't care about the $16,000 because I already make way more than that in a month. Just my residual income.
Sure.
You know. I don't think it's the split is really necessary at this point because if you look at the whole thing, you know, you can make way more than the $16,000 you're gonna pay for the company.
So each agent would have to pay $16,000 that comes over with me, and I have to pay them as well, or how does that work for a brokerage?
As if the agents, you know, in this situation when it become to the broker, when you have a lot of agents, we can put you with a specialist. We can look and see how many agents you have in your team and all this, and we can add the numbers.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Julio, these couple guys came to me a couple years ago and explained this to me, and I looked into the model, but still didn't like it. I don't like their branding. Their colors are horrendous.
All right.
I just really don't think that this is a good fit for us. I have a good thing going here. We're making good money.
You just said you're not happy. So you just told me I'm not happy.
So listen, but my problem is this: is that I don't want to go from not being happy to then being miserable, you know, and losing everything that I worked for.
Oh, can show how I can be happier.
I mean, it's a possibility. I'm willing to listen, but you've got to give me something of substance that I could really see that is going to really benefit not only me but also benefit everyone in my office. I mean, yeah, it's great that my agents can recruit in California, but how realistic is that?
Oh, well, you know what I can do? I'm sure you are busy today. I'm busy too. I respect your time. I'm just I start to have a phone call with you today just to know you more.
Yeah.
See what's your goal, if it's lined up to even to work together.
Yeah.
You know, what about we schedule a Zoom call? I
Alright.
would like to show you all the system.
All right, no problem. We could do that. When
Can we
you
do
wanna
it tomorrow at 2 o'clock?
Sure, no problem.
All
Let's
right,
do
done.
that. Yeah.
Send me your email. I'll send you the link.
Okay. So what do we do on the Zoom call now? That's the next day.
I would like to do a Zoom call. I show you how EXP is working. I show you the work, the office and everything in the back end.
Okay.
You know, I can show you the revenue share, how you can scale, the stock, you know, the training we have, everything.
Okay. Absolutely. I mean, that's something that we could do, but I feel like you could just tell me about that now.
I don't have time, man. You just put me on
I mean,
the
you
spot,
actually
man.
caught me at a good time. I have the next hour.
I love it.
I think Hamoudi is a little bit out of his element because of the camera and the audience, but this guy's usually a killer. He's not gonna stop it. He's not gonna take no for.
He's
for
more
an
on one-on-one and not group settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hamoudi, man, just tell me what it is, man. I mean, how am I gonna benefit from this, dude? And I want to know more importantly than any of that, how are you benefiting from me coming on?
Just forget we're here.
This camera is bothering.
Okay.
You want to stand over here?
No, that's fine. Alright, give me a second. I have to think about something.
Just
Run.
We're not here.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
You said you've been in business for 5 years, whatever. You have a team or something.
Yes, sir.
Do you think you're building a business? Are you a business owner or business operator? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean,
Can you take 1 month off?
I mean, I could, but.
I don't say I could. I mean, can you take 1 month off?
Yeah.
For real?
back.
For real?
Yeah, for real. Take your phone off. I want to take you to Puerto Rico with me 1 month.
Oh, I mean, I can't leave my phone behind because then I'll get
This means
lynched
you're not a
when I get
business
back. Huh?
You're not a business owner. You're a business operator.
Oh, okay. I see your
You
point.
know, can you?
No. I probably couldn't. Can you?
I can.
You can?
Yeah, I can. I'm actually, matter of fact, I'm going to live to Puerto Rico next week.
Okay. I don't prioritize travel that much, but I mean, it's definitely not something I could do.
That's good. And this is the thing I want to share with you. That's what the opportunity I have with EXP is. I'm still buying and selling houses, but it gives me the opportunity to learn how to leverage my time.
Mhm.
As example, when you go buy and sell a house, you only got one check. Done. You're not going to get paid again. But when I bring in agents, every time you have a transaction, you meet with the new agents. Imagine if you learn how to leverage your time, not just buying and selling, also connect with these agents, convert them to EXP. You got stock from this agent because he came to EXP, and you go make revenue.
Sure.
This means when you get to the point you have 100, 200, or 900, or 1,000 agents, because I don't want to sell houses this month. I don't care because I already have 900,000 agents. I make a good residual income this month because I decide to, not because I have to.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense. Let's do the Zoom call. I have no problem with that. We can figure out
Sounds good.
what's going on. Yeah. All right. So anything that anyone could take away from that? Did anyone pick up on anything Hamoudi said that you think is good that could be used, or anything that he can improve on? Because it's also an exercise for him and myself. Us doing this is practice.
The only
Anyone
thing I
pick
would
anything?
say would to really ask more about the pain points.
Yeah. I was waiting for that. I kept telling, I told him, I'm not really worried about
Well, travel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
What are you worried about? What is something you wish you could change?
Me?
No,
You were
asking
telling him that travel's important to you, but he said travel's not important to him. You should have asked him
What is
What's
important?
more
what is
important for you?
important
Yeah.
to you.
What is
Alright.
yeah?
Yeah.
What's
What are you
important?
not doing right now that you wish you could be doing? So like when I talk to somebody, the first question I ask is, what do you not have in your brokerage right now that you wish you had, or it could take you to the next level where you
Sure.
want to go?
Of course. Yeah, well, I just wish I had something that I could offer my agents to keep them around. You know, I don't have anything. I mean, besides giving them a higher split, but I can't get higher than 100.
Yeah.
You know? So that's where my pain point was when I made the decision, because I kept hustling myself into a worse position because I kept working harder and losing more agents. So I needed a solution where the agent feels like there is literally no reason in the world for me to have to
And
do
there's
this.
there's a lot of independents that are in that
Yeah.
independent brokers that are
So-
in that same boat where they
Yeah, so
just
what
they
if-
keep
I
giving
mean,
away
if
the
you bring
farm.
up the fact that
Pretty
you're
soon
gonna
they're
be able to
making-
offer your
yeah.
agents the
They
same
think they're making
opportunity
money.
that you have.
Yeah.
And you can't do that as an independent
Yeah.
broker. But because with you going with EXP, you can offer them the same opportunity you're going to have.
Yeah.
Plus, you're offering them these thousands of other agents that are top agents around the world
Of course.
that they can learn from.
Yeah, we could do that. So, yes.
Sorry.
Huh?
Okay, I kind of want to circle back a little bit. So you guys no longer have like a team structure. You have agents underneath you through the revenue share, correct?
It's called a rev share team.
That's what you call your group?
Yeah, no, but that's what they classify it as a rev share team.
Okay.
And then you've got the
EXP does.
yeah. EXP has different categories for teams. They have the mega
You have production
Icon.
team, you have rev share, you've got mega icon
mega
team.
icon,
Okay, so you guys are the rev share team.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
are you no longer in production at this time?
If I get like a low hanging fruit, maybe I'll do it. But as far as like looking for business, I don't. So
You're strictly focused
yeah,
on
so
this.
what I do is
Okay.
if I do have a listing or a buyer that I refer to one of my agents, then I'll take a 25% referral fee. I learned that from Micah because
Right.
she said, look, that's
The minimum.
the best way to do it. She's like, that's the best way to do it, because when you have a team that's structured, you're obligated to be more than just someone who is responsive instead of someone who is proactively trying to push them on a daily basis. And I didn't have the time for that anymore.
It's really kind of like an unorganized team,
Yeah.
essentially. And honestly, I think that's the way of the future. You know.
Just what do you think is the way of the future, honey? I'm sorry.
So what I've done, and this is what I think you're doing now, is a blanket agreement for all of my agents, and so they're agreeing if I should send you a lead, you're accepting these terms, and it's based on price points.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's 100 to 100 or 150 to 200, then it's 25%, and then it goes up from there. If you're going to do a listing, we're going to co-list. I'm going to pay for all the marketing, but that's on a 50-50 split.
Okay.
I don't want to run a production team anymore, but I'll refer all day long. We signed up one yesterday.
$600,000.
Okay.
I didn't touch it, and I'm going to get 35%.
Okay. That's what I should probably start, because I do.
Yeah.
You guys know I sell like 500,000.
Right.
508, a million.
Right.
So, like, I love selling, but like after hearing you guys, I'm like, this is stupid what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, there's a better way.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Can I
Shira.
ask
I'm
you a
sorry.
quick question?
And then we probably do have
So,
to get to the other
my
panel.
read on you would have been that you're very analytical, on that type of stuff.
Uh-huh.
So when did you feel that you needed to get into the numbers, and was it on your own that you needed to do it, or did you need them to start you on the numbers first? Because I would have thought I would have needed to get into the rev share part to show
Yeah.
you, but is that on your personality style? Is that more that you needed to do that? And Conda too, did you guys need to do that numbers yourself?
Yeah, so for me, being a very analytical person, when I met with the first two gentlemen who came on, and by the way, they're great people, those two guys, like, they were early on into EXP, they have a ton of stock. One of them is in my team now, and the other guy, he's a loan officer, good friend of mine, I go golfing with him all the time. Great people, like, nothing bad to say about them, but when they showed up, they threw up on me. And I wasn't prepared at that point in time
What is that?
for them.
Man.
I wasn't prepared in that point in time to look outside of my own brand, and they went for the kill, and I wasn't ready for that. What they should have done is came, informed me, and followed up. And when the day I signed up and I made it public, he was the first one to call me, and he said, "Why did you do it? I just want to know so I know what I did wrong." And I said, "The only thing you did wrong is you didn't follow up." That was really the only thing. So what did it for me when I spoke with Micah and Hamoudi was that I was feeling growing pains, and I was getting to that stagnation point, and I was saying to myself, all right, the next level is getting myself even deeper into this rabbit hole that I was creating of a business plan by franchising. So I said, I'm at a fork in the road. They called me at the right time. And then when I looked at the numbers that I put together, because Micah didn't put together a spreadsheet for me, I literally went did it myself. And when I saw it, I said, you know what, I can live with 50% haircut. I can live with that. And it was me just doing my own research, but I suggest that anyone here, if they come across a high analytical person, they make an appointment with onboarding, like they have team onboarding specialist people.
Yeah.
Have them do something like that with them. That way they can show them, look, this is what your projections would be. That way they can see and they kind of play around with these numbers. And maybe they want to do, maybe they don't want to give their agents an extra 15% bump. That was just something I did because I thought it was right. They can keep their agents on whatever they want because they're still getting stock. They're still going to cap out at $8,000 or $4,000 depending on the size of their group. So there is still a lot of upside for them to come over. So they don't have to do what I did. I just did that because I'm a sucker. I'm too nice, she says. So that's my
And then
problem.
he created, what happened is he created his own spreadsheet, and then I created one to compare, and then we kind of got back together and regrouped and looked at the structure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way. Because I'll be honest with you, what's his name who we met with?
Chris Fair.
Chris. He gave me some numbers that I almost fell out of my chair when he gave them to me. It was like showing me I was gonna make $100,000 on my agents. I was like, what? 100? If I was someone else, I would have said no. But I went above and beyond, and I did this on my own. And I said he was wrong. He would have lost me if I was just like a regular person who doesn't really like look deeper. So that's the only thing I would be very careful with is look to see what that person is going to prepare for the team leader or for the broker first before it actually goes to that person, because you might just lose them at that stage. They did almost lose me on that.